they watching, I'ma make them sweat. Put your money down, place your bets. Degenerate, yeah, I'm a sicko. Who else gon' get you to the window? I know they watching, I'ma make them sweat. Put your money down, place your bets.
Welcome to Graybo's Giblets, part of the NoOffSeason.com Sports Card Network. This is the college football show, Locks Week 13. We're out here dropping giblets. I'm your host, Graybo, and I'm joined always by Dennyonetime and Fitz. The last week of the regular season, Rivalry Week. What's up, fellas? How we doing? How was your Thanksgiving? Where are we? How we feeling?
I'm feeling great. Had a great Thanksgiving. We're starting this podcast 42 minutes late, and none of the delays were because of Gray Burnett. They were all because of me and a little bit of Fitz and IT. So great. Congrats on not holding us up today.
Thank you.
I think it's a good idea for us to report back on how much we ate yesterday as a percentage of our normal intake and how many alcoholic beverages we had. I'm going to start. I ate about 125% of my daily caloric intake. So not too bad, I think, for Thanksgiving. And I think I had 7 alcoholic beverages.
That's not bad.
Pretty average day.
All I can say is I went to bed at 8 o'clock. That's how I was feeling. Just a long day, grinding it out, football, eating, kids. I'm in a closet right now.
Well, come on out of that closet whenever you want to.
What'd you say, Fitz?
Is that because of your actions yesterday, or just for this recording?
Just for this recording, so I can get away from everybody. It's the only spot I can get away.
Well, I refute the comment by Denny one time that I had anything to do with this delay. Going into yesterday, I had a very small plate, a bit under the weather, so I actually ate less than normal, and I had 1 apple cider mimosa. So pretty weak Thanksgiving from my end.
Wow, that is weak.
That is weak. All right, well, let's look at the betting side of things last week. How about them Georgia dogs? Just playing it easy for me, just an easy lock. Memphis looked great covering for me. I still can't figure out the Big Ten. Iowa, Illinois was a pillow fight, and I lost out on that. But big game this week, right? Michigan, Ohio State, the game. How'd y'all do last week? And obviously, looking forward to Michigan, Ohio State. What other games are you looking forward to this week?
I'm very excited about Ohio State, Michigan. Virginia Tech, UVA is obviously a big one for us here in Virginia. Both teams stunk at the beginning of the season. Both teams are playing a little bit better. Should be fun to watch that. Always is. Last week, it was an okay week for me. I did go 5-7 overall, but I went 3-1 in my big bets. So still a slightly profitable week. I mean, I think there's a lot of games to watch this weekend. Some of the mid-major stuff is already decided. All like the MAC that I follow hard is already decided. But I got a lot of games I'd like to bet on this week because this week is all about motivation, like who has something to play for, who doesn't. And I think there's definitely some betting opportunities this week because of that.
What about you, Fitz? I agree with that. Who's playing for what is something that we need to watch for sure. Who's already in. And then for these bigger teams, they're looking for blowout potential, try to capture the committee's, the eye test. Big game for Oregon, Oregon State, where Oregon's 13.5-point favorites. They're just playing so well right now.
Yeah, this week's a lot more situational spots, like Denny said. Who's playing for that crucial 6 win to become bowl eligible? Who's already locked into their conference championship games? Who might be resting guys? And then, obviously the Commonwealth Cup. Looking forward to that. Gray, we used to do a bet back in the day. The loser had to wear the opponent's shirt.
Award a lot.
Yeah. We should do that again.
I like it. Loser wears the shirt to the shop or something. Big game, 3:30. We can watch the Michigan Ohio State game and then get ready for that one. That's going to be my 3:30 game. I'm going to watch. Locked in. Virginia Tech, Virginia. Should be a good game according to the spread. I think the Hokies keep moving a little bit. It's 2.5 now. The Hokies are favored, but it's in that loud Charlottesville stadium.
Nobody walks into Scott Stadium and pushes around the Wahoos.
Except most people.
in their shirts and ties, ready to go. At least we're not going into the inner Sandman. We are welcome. It's our song usually was "Welcome to the Jungle."
That's a good wine and cheese.
Just crickets from the crowd.
That's a good wine and cheese song for sure.
All right, well, let's get to the board here. I think our top four is kind of what the committee had. They moved Washington in and not Florida State out. It sucks to see Jordan Travis go down like that. Looked like an Alex Smith injury. I hope he's doing all right. It sucks, but I think Florida State's pretty much done. They could lose this week to Florida, and then they have to play Louisville without their starting quarterback. Do you guys have any take on that?
Go ahead, Fitz.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to be punished because they've lost Travis. We'll see how the backup plays against Florida. Their schedule just doesn't. I think, like, as a football fan, no one really wants to see Florida State in there without Jordan Travis. But I can also see the argument where you shouldn't penalize the team just because the quarterback got injured. But there's a lot of games, a lot of matchups. Texas, Alabama, Oregon, all creeping in. So I think if all else is equal, they might actually put a one-loss team over Florida State.
I agree with that. All right, so let's go to the board. Remember, you can go on Whatnot, get $15 by joining through whatnot.sportscardstrategy.com. All right, recapping last week, Denny went 2-1. Jacksonville State was you went 1-2, but Jacksonville State felt like 2 wins because they crushed. And then you lost to Utah State and you lost Southern Miss. I know that Southern Miss one was tough. You should have been 2-1. Some turnovers there at the end. You're 14-16 overall. Who are you going with this week? And you want to talk about that Southern Miss loss?
I will say that I was getting 15 points and Southern Miss was down by 6 with 7 minutes to go. Mississippi State busted a 60-yard run and then got a pick 6 to cover, which I knew you were happy about, Gray, but I was not. Utah State was just a stinker, but Southern Miss game should have won. All right, so I'm very excited. This week I got about 7 games I'm excited about. So normally I'm looking for 3 to put here, but I actually had to sort through the 7 to find 3 I liked the best. So these 3 I'm pretty excited about. Missouri laying 9 against Arkansas. Arkansas is a rotting corpse. Folks are getting ready to just transfer and jump ship. Nothing to play for. Missouri, the coach has a massive chip on his shoulder. A lot of history with Arkansas. Grew up in Arkansas, didn't get a look when they made the last hire. There's a lot of things personally that he's a chippy guy. If you saw at the end of the Tennessee game how chippy he can be. So I see Missouri pouring it on. So I like it as a straight up bet. I like it as a cover 5 kind of play. If they lose, if they don't cover, they're gonna win by 3 or 7, right? So you have limited downside, but they might win by 21. So I love it as a cover 5 play. Second bet is I guess a little background. The MAC championship was already decided, right? Toledo versus Miami of Ohio, and it does not matter what those 2 teams do this week. So both Toledo and Miami of Ohio have nothing to play for. Toledo's laying 10 against Central Michigan. Central Michigan has 5 wins. Their win total preseason was 5.5. So it's a big game for me. I took them over, but obviously 6 games get you bowl eligibility. So it's a great situational spot for Central Michigan. Toledo is better, no doubt, but I don't see him running it up. I see him resting folks early and often. So let's go. I'm betting pretty heavily on the Chippewas. And then finally, San Diego State getting 5.5 versus Fresno. Fresno's trending in the wrong direction. San Diego State started the season pretty bad, but they're trending up, and it's Brady Hoke's last game. It's an amazing situational spot for them as well. So I'm very excited about all 3 of those bets. So we're going 3 units on all 3, locked and loaded.
I love it. I really like the Missouri play. Don't give Fitz any ideas. Fitz is crushing cover 5. He's got 1 week left. It's his first year. Can Fitz hang on? Fitz, are you going to blow it?
I literally just scrolled down to I had Missouri in there earlier, but I switched them out for Oregon. And after listening to Denny, I thought about switching back, but
I knew it. Don't give him any ideas, Denny. Come on.
Out of respect to the rules of the game, I'm going to leave it as is.
And then I really like the Central Michigan play. For everything you said, you're going to see me and Fitz, I think, take the other side of where Miami, Ohio is already in, and I think we're both leaning towards Ball State here. Really like Ball State, but I do like that Central Michigan play as well. I'm gonna play it all. We've been pretty hot, even though our year to date doesn't say it these last couple weeks. All right, well, Fitz, let's go to you. Overall, you're also 14-16, so big week for you against Denny to try to get that overall year to date victory. Zona plus 1.5, absolute beat down of Utah, great call. Georgia minus 10.5, great call. The Army under 43.5 was a loss. Don't know where it ended. I think it was kind of a high scoring game for Army, if I recall.
49.
But why don't you talk about that in your 3 plays?
Yeah, well, first, Duke, I was a little shocked to not see a certain matchup on your board. It must have been like picking between your 2 children and San Jose State versus UNLV this week.
Oh,
that is a great matchup. And I forgot to mention that one. I'm going to try to watch that one this weekend as well. If you want my opinion, slight lean to UNLV, but it's those 2 teams have had great seasons.
Yeah. All right, so my picks are going to be a great reference at Ball State getting 5.5 against Miami of Ohio. It's a low total, so I'm going to lean towards the underdog on matchups like that. Miami already lost Gabbert for the year and really has nothing to play for since they're locked in to the championship game. So it can be Ball State. Second pick, I love this one. I believe this is an early kickoff today if you're listening on Friday. Nebraska minus 2.5 versus Iowa. Nebraska needs this one, right? We talked about the crucial 6 win. They need this to become bowl eligible. Again, Iowa's already locked into the Big Ten championship. The total in this game is 25. I think we got to take the under as a group here.
That is so low. I'm done betting Big Ten over-unders.
I mean, like I'm always terrified to bet on an Iowa game. I really am.
And then lastly, I'm going to go with Oregon. They're at home, rivalry game against Oregon State. Bo Nix is out here trying to win a Heisman. I think they put it on Oregon State. Oregon State had the tough loss last week at home against Washington and with the weather. So I think some of their stuff is skewed. It looked like they hung in there, but really, I think Oregon's offense is going to kind of expose the Beavers.
Love it. We're aligned. I like both y'all's plays this week. For me, 17-12 overall. Good week last week. Memphis, that +8. Great cover from the Tigers. The Bulldogs were my lock of the week. They crushed again. They're starting to really pour it on them. Look like a three-peat for national champions. Iowa -3. They had it. They blew it. I don't know if you watched that game, but the kicker missed an extra point and 2 field goals to easily win that game and to easily cover, and they blew it. So Iowa's dead to me. I'm taking Nebraska with Fitz just to pour it on Iowa today. For me, taking some teams that I think are just going to pour it on. Horrible teams. Penn State at Michigan State. Michigan State is atrocious. I think they might score 3 points against this Penn State defense. Penn State offense isn't very good, but Michigan State, like I said, is terrible. So I believe they cover the 22.5. I'm thinking like a 40-3 game. Get some juju going into bowl season for Penn State. Bama -13.5. I have a grudge against Auburn. I took them with Duke's advice that New Mexico State's quarterback was out. That guy just came in and ran all over Auburn's defense, who's supposed to be really good and top in the SEC. Auburn's offense is so bad. Hugh Freeze sucks. Bama is going to stomp them, taking them in cover 5. I'm going to get +70 today out of Bama. -13.5, easy win. And then I really like New Mexico +6 versus Utah State. You have 2 really good offenses versus 2 really bad defenses. So I think it's just going to be back and forth. Utah State, I think, might cover. Utah State might win by a field goal, but you get that New Mexico +6. I like New Mexico to maybe win outright. And for the record, I did have Ball State here, but Fitz had them, so I wanted to do something different. And I really like New Mexico as well. So New Mexico +6, Bama minus 13.5 to roll the Tigers. Penn State minus 22.5 are my 3 picks. Let's move on to upset of the week. You get 10% off any purchase at graybos.co while using the promo code STRATEGY, all lowercase, 2023. We went 3-0 for the boys last week with 2 outright wins. Memphis covered. Probably might have should have won that game, but covered easily. UCLA plus 6.5, easy outright win against USC. And then Denny's UNLV outright win, even though they were plus 3. Great job, fellas. 3-0, always good. The overall score is Fitz has 90.5. Duke's at 77, and I'm at 37.5. So we do have to decide, is this the last week, or are we going to go all the way through bowl season doing underdogs?
What do you think? I think I'll let Fitz make this call. It might be clean to end it this week.
I think we end it this week, just regular season. So, Fitz, you're in the lead. Who are you going to end with and try to keep this close? Try to end it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a small home dog in NC State playing UNC. They're getting 2.5. So I just feel like that's, looking at the board, that's one that, low risk, trying to get a win here.
I like it. Denny, who are you going with to try to catch them?
I'm going to take TCU, who's playing a tad better towards the end of the year. Going to get 9.5 versus the fraudsters that are the Oklahoma Sooners. I like TCU to win by a field goal, and that might be enough to catch my boy Fitz here.
Yeah, it might be. I remember when Fitz called Oklahoma frauds and took West Virginia. So we'll see what happens.
Didn't work out.
I can't catch anybody here. I'm just way behind. So, but I like Ball State. So bet it plus 5.5. I think they come in and beat Miami, Ohio. Quarterback's banged up for Miami, Ohio. Again, they're already in the championship, so they might rest a lot of people. Ball State's at home. Love that bet. Me and Fitz are both on.
Yeah,
so,
for what it's worth, Gray, I like that bet as well. Everyone listening, that hasn't followed as much as we have with Gabbert. With Gabbert out for the season, they're playing the backup quarterback. They do not want to get their second string quarterback hurt. They have to play their third string in the championship game next week. So, it's a Ball State bet all day.
Ball State bet all day. Thank you. Now we look at our cover 3. We have top 25 only. We're looking at Duke's last week here. He went plus 7 overall. Georgia helped him out because he lost Oregon State in Miami. So, Duke, you're at plus 131.5. Who are your 3 cover 3 picks?
I've talked about 2 of these already, and then I'm going to mention the third one. So give me TCU for the reasons previously mentioned. Give me Missouri for the reasons previously mentioned. And then let's go with Kansas State, laying 10 against Iowa State. I see Kansas State rolling in a big fashion this week.
I love it. This is the last week for this one, too. And Fitz, we keep saying this, is in the lead. Plus 212, had a 22.5 point week. He had a great cover 5 week, too. Washington and Arizona getting them plus 23. UNC only lost him a few points, so he has a pretty big lead. But he's going to choke. He's going to choke in this. He's going to choke in the big one. So who you got, Fitz?
I'm going to start my choking with the Gators under the lights in the swamp against Tate, Rodemaker, and the Seminoles. I think they have a good chance of actually pulling the upset. I think they're getting 6.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't have the sheet in front of me.
It might be. Yeah. It's either 6 or 6.5. I know that. So you're right.
Fitz, have you seen all the memes about Tate? Like he's like dancing, like he's like whipping and nay-naying at like gas stations, dorm hallways, and it's really bad. He's like, this is who's leading the undefeated Seminoles.
And I don't. That first statement you just said, under the lights in the swamp against their rivals with no Travis, that just got me juiced.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. Second, I'm gonna go with back to Oregon. Bonos. I think they, if not cover, it'll be close enough where I don't lose too many points here. So give me Oregon. And then lastly, got to go with Texas A&M. I mean, what an inspired effort last week against Abilene Christian. This Elijah Robinson interim coach, they're playing for something bigger. What are they paying Jimbo? Like $75 million not to be there?
Something like that.
That's amazing. So yeah, those are my three.
$26,000 a day for 7 years.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh! Well, I got to catch Fitz somehow, so I'm going to go the opposite of his A&M pick, and I'm going to take the LSU Tigers. They have a Heisman candidate themselves with their quarterback, Mr. Jaden Daniels, who's been awesome. Their offense has been awesome. So I like LSU to maybe roll A&M. Like you said, no Jimbo. They're kind of just not playing for anything. Yeah. Oh, did they almost lose to Abilene Christian?
No,
I don't know.
4 touchdowns.
Okay. You said like played inspired, like they closed they pulled it out barely. All right. Well, I'm going to take LSU just so I can try to beat you. And then the other two, taking some big favorites here. Bama, like I said, and Penn State against Michigan State to get some big points. I'm looking for blowouts this week. Got to get the big points. If this is your last week in these types of pools and you're behind, guys like Fitz are going to try to play it easy. You got to make some moves. You got to gamble. So Bama, Penn State, LSU. All right, lock of the week. We ride it. Gentlemen, last week we went, I think 1-2. No, 2-1, because Fitz's Louisville and Miami hit almost in the first half. 41 in the first half. You had the over at 46.5. They finished with 69 points. Fitz is 9-2 overall. Myself had Georgia minus 10.5. I'm 8-3-1. Just a couple of wagons, me and Fitz. Dude, 4-8. I think your only 4 wins are either UNLV and San Jose State, right? Or Miami, Ohio?
Yeah, Miami of Ohio and San Jose State, correct.
4-8. Southern Miss should have won, but the plus 15 was a loss. So, dude, lock of the week, we ride in. Who are you going with?
I am taking the Missouri Tigers against the corpse, the rotting corpse that is Arkansas football. -9.
I love it. And Fitz, you're staying with this game. What are you going with?
Yeah, I have 2 rules when it comes to making these picks. It has to either involve the Arizona Wildcats or the Missouri Tigers. So I will stay with this game, and I'm going to take an over, like always, over 54.5, Missouri and Arkansas. Lock it in.
Love it. And then for myself, I've been just riding really good teams. Georgia, Bama this week, minus 13.5 against Auburn. Love it. Lock it in. 3 touchdown victory. Big units. Well, market movers save 20% after a free 14-day trial. Visit marketmoversapp.com and use the promo code NOOFFSEASON. Well, that's going to be all for today. Good luck with your bets. Thanks to our listeners for riding with Graybos, and be sure you tune in next time. Leave us that 5-star review. Leave a 5-star review. Tell us how we're doing. Fellas, anything to add this last week of college football?
Giblets and freaking gravy. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Go Hokies.
All right. Deuce.
When I go to sleep, I don't see sheep, see dollar signs. $100 got him beat the odds for the 100th time at a money line. Brock Purdy was irrelevant, now I'm at the front like a cutting line. G5 to the power 5, Graybo's on fire like it's summertime. I know they watching, I'ma make them sweat. Put your money down, place your bets. Degenerate, yeah, I'm a sicko. Who else gon' get you to the window? I know they watching, I'ma make them sweat. Put your money down, place your bets. Degenerate, yeah, I'm a sicko. Who else gon' get you to the window?